Welcome back to the channel. So in my recent shorts video I showed you this, the ASUS CR1 Chromebook, and I mentioned about all the blanking plates it has, so I thought I'd just make a video to explain those and make sense of it and point out a potential issue it can cause that I've seen in another Chromebook from ASUS. I'll link to the original shorts video in the description of this one. You can see when a manufacturer like ASUS makes a Chromebook like this, they have several different series or configurations available, and they're going to need to cater for those with different buttons, ports or accessories in the case. For example, non-convertible versus a convertible range, the flip in the case of ASUS, can require several differences. To keep costs down, it makes sense that they manufacture one case and then it can be adapted as needed for the different buttons and ports. As the CR1 I have is pretty much the most basic model, non-touch, so non-convertible, there are a lot of signs of what you could have had in the form of the 5 blanking plates that I spotted. On the left we have 2, I suspect for power and a volume rocker on the convertible models, and then over on the right we have this one on the left, which I think may be for an HDMI port on some models, and then over on the right hand side, as I mentioned in the shorts video, that's not a stylus, but of course it's the blanking plate for one. It would be one on the convertible flip CR1 models, or at least on those that have a stylus, which brings us on to a potential problem before we get to blanking plate number 5. When I previously reviewed another ASUS Chromebook, the ASUS Flip C214MA, I tried to explain there were 2 versions of this flip model, one that came with the stylus and one that didn't, and it's the same for the Flip CR1. That can get a bit confusing, and several of the comments on that other video were showing that people with the non-stylus model were trying to remove the blanking plate thinking it was the stylus, and that was either just causing confusion or disappointment or potentially damage. I feel like ASUS could do a better job on the naming conventions here and to differentiate things, but maybe that's just me. Back to the ASUS CR1, the 5th blanking plate is the circle at the top of the keyboard where you'd have a world-facing camera on a convertible flip model. I can show you what I mean with the Lenovo 300E 3rd Gen Chromebook, as that features one here. When you're in tablet mode, it's effectively like the camera on the back of your phone facing out to the world. So there you have it, an answer to the question from the short and a cautionary tale on checking the exact specs of the Chromebook you're buying and perhaps where manufacturers can do more to help. Tell me in the comments if I'm just overthinking this, and if you've liked this video, please do check out one of these next 2 reviews.